Hello everyone, bonjour à tous, et dans cette vidéo, je vais décrire comment préparer pour BI, spécifiquement pour français, BI niveau moyen ou ab initio. So in this video, I'll tell you how to prepare for IB French, whether it's French BSL, HL, or ab initio. If you're heading into DP1, you're about to start IB French, here's how you should get ready. Firstly, this is important, allow yourself to learn. You're in the early stages, allow yourself to learn. It's okay to not know every vocabulary word. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not understand certain concepts. Allow yourself to learn. The expectation of having perfection in the beginning and knowing everything right away, it's gonna hinder you from learning, because then when you do make mistakes, you're gonna get discouraged, which you see with a lot of students. Allow yourself to learn. It's okay to suck at something. You'll get better. But you have to just apply yourself to the learning process. That's an important disclaimer. Give yourself time. Don't get discouraged when it's hard in the beginning, because it will be hard based on your level of proficiency in French. So just be mindful of that. With that being said, I think the first thing you want to focus on is make sure you master present tense in French, passé composé, future simple, future proche, those three tenses, and imparfait. So present tense, passé composé, imparfait, future proche, future simple. Master those tenses the summer before you start IB French. Make sure you know those tenses. Those are like the foundational tenses. You're going to learn new ones like conditionnel passé, plus que parfait, whatever else, subjonctif. But you want to master those fundamental tenses. Because if you don't have a good grasp of those tenses, it's harder to then learn the more advanced tenses, and it's just harder to have effective writing and communication in French. Master those tenses: present tense, passé composé, imparfait, future proche, future simple. You can do revision and practice for those. You can find some guides online that have those. There's a lot of resources for those. I'd say some of the good ones are like Lingolia or AlloProf. Those are good websites with conjugation guides and conjugation exercises you can try for different tenses. Give those a try. Secondly, you want to learn key phrases and vocabulary. Good sentence starters, especially in French. I think one of the biggest things that deters students from having confidence and from participating in class discussions in French is a lack of vocabulary. And so they're afraid to make a mistake, or they just straight up don't know what to say in French. An easy way to overcome this is learning sentence starters and key vocabulary. There's a lot of good sentence starters in my IB French vocab guide. You can get that for free on my website, nathanstuttering.com. But sentence starters like je pense que, à mon avis, je trouve que, selon moi, when you're giving opinion, or stuff like linking words like cependant, surtout, somme tout, autrefois. Words like those will allow you to like express ideas, to make comparisons and contrasts, and to elaborate in French. And you can use those when you're speaking in a discussion to start your ideas and to expand on them. And then you can just fill it in with different vocabulary. But just having a good sentence starter will give you the confidence to initiate your speaking, which is going to show your teacher initiative because you're trying. One of the biggest things, again, that deters people is lack of vocabulary, so they don't try because they don't know what to say in French. And when you don't show initiative, then you can't learn more because you're not even taking the first step. At least show initiative by learning sentence starters. They're so important for in-class discussions, for like the oral exam when you're doing practice oral exams where you're describing a photo, and even for writing. Having good sentence starters is going to go a long way. Practice with those and learn those over the summer. So you can get my guides, they're free, and it'll teach you sentence starters. The third tip to get ready for IB French is doing daily active listening in French over the summer as you get ready. You can start at whatever level you're comfortable with, but make sure you're listening to French every day for at least an hour, totally in French. You should expect that your teacher is going to be speaking entirely in French throughout the French term, more or less, most of the time. And so you have to be able to understand what they're saying. That comes with the level of comprehension, which if it's not built over time, then it's going to be harder to maintain it. So you have to start early. Like ideally, as soon as the school year ends, even small podcasts, YouTube videos in French, make sure you're listening every single day at a slower speed and then gradually at a faster speed. So you develop your ear, develop awareness. That's critical. It's going to go a long way for the listening exams and for the oral exam. If you know how to speak and how to understand the words that are being spoken, it's really critical. Some channels that I recommend to help for this are Easy French. It's a really good channel. They have videos at various levels. They have like super easy French videos for like more or less beginners. And they have also Easy French, which is like for a good intermediate level. These are street interviews in French. They have English and French subtitles. It can help you a lot to learn vocabulary and to comprehend spoken French at a semi-natural pace. They speak somewhat slow, but some of the people they interview speak a little faster. So it's good to understand French spoken at a natural pace. That's going to build your confidence and awareness. It just takes immersion in the language. You have to be immersed in it. You have to listen to it over and over for days and months on end. And then your brain picks it up. It's very fascinating how easily the brain can learn when it's flooded with something constantly. So you have to flood yourself with the language. Start gradually and build. That's all you got to do. Daily active listening. That's the third point. And then the fourth point, start reading articles in French and learn new vocabulary. Become aware of sentence structure in French. So we've learned sentence starters. That's really key as well. But just overall sentence structure, like the use of like pronoun complements, the use of like liaisons, the use of pronouns. Look at how negations and negatif are used in French. Reading like sentence structure is going to help you understand how sentences are formed, how you can use this in your own writing, and how you can identify certain keywords when you're reading, because that's going to help you for the reading comprehension exams. So I'd recommend going to sites like TV5, France 24 is another good website. TV5, France 24, Le Devoir. These are all like magazine and newspapers in French that have online articles and a lot of free articles as well that you can read online. So just practice reading French articles so you can learn new vocabulary and become aware of French sentence structure. That's critical for when you do reading exercises. You want to be really prepared for that, because the reading exam can be tricky if you don't understand French sentence structure. So starting early and developing that base, again, is critical. That's basically it. So you're obviously balancing your other subjects, but if you want to do well in French, start early. Start small, but be consistent. That's the most important thing. So make sure you, 1, master the basic verb tenses. 2, learn French sentence starters for speaking and for writing. Those are going to go a long way in in-class discussions and oral exam practice. 3, do daily active listening in French for at least an hour, completely in French, to develop your ear and your awareness of spoken vocabulary. And then 4, read articles in French and learn vocabulary and sentence structure. As long as you do that in preparation for IB French DP1, you should do pretty well. And it's going to be great prep leading into the exams. Now, obviously, as you get closer to the actual exams, whether they're in DP1 or DP2, you want to make sure you're practicing with past exam papers. That's like the best way to specifically prepare for the exams. Reading comprehension papers, writing papers, listening, and you can find those on various websites. I won't say them out loud, but there you go. But yeah, you can practice with past exam papers. That's obviously really important. But as you're heading in, like before you even start, build this foundation, build this base with the 4 tips, the 5 tips I just mentioned. So master the basic verb tenses, daily active listening, learn sentence starters, read French articles. Just do those things and you'll be perfect. You'll be ready for the term. Bonne chance à tous. Et n'oublie pas que j'ai des resources sur mon site web. Don't forget I have resources on my website, nathanstutoring.com. Check them out. They're free. They'll help you out on your exams. Au revoir.